So you can't see this, but hopefully you can hear it. Behind every Boise State Public Radio podcast is a team working hard to bring you stories that matter. So if you value podcasts like this one, please support them. Hit donate at boisestatepublicradio.org. Thanks.
It's The Connector for Wednesday, January 22nd. Good morning. Today, a flurry of activity at the Idaho Statehouse. Lawmakers again take aim at mask mandates nearly 5 years after the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. There's reaction to new President Donald Trump's move blocking the Lava Ridge wind energy project in south central Idaho. And a recent survey finds that Idahoans have growing hope for the state's future. We have those stories and lots more this morning on The Connector, Idaho Daily News from Boise State Public Radio. I'm Troy Oppie. We start this morning at the Idaho Statehouse. Executions in Idaho could soon primarily be carried out via the firing squad. That's under a new bill introduced yesterday. James Dawson explains.
Right now, state corrections officials must kill inmates using lethal injection unless they're unable to get the drugs necessary to carry out an execution. Under the bill from Republican Representative Bruce Skog, the firing squad would be upgraded to the primary method unless the director of the Idaho Department of Correction says it's unavailable.
This bill is not about whether death penalty is good or bad, but it's already been determined that is how we carry out justice in some cases.
State lawmakers set aside $750,000 to build a firing squad facility in 2023, but the state received 0 bids both times it called for solicitations last year. Skog's bill would take effect July 2026. The measure still needs a public hearing before it could reach the House floor for a vote. James Dawson, Boise State Public Radio News.
House lawmakers yesterday advanced a bill that would establish a $300 mandatory minimum penalty for simple marijuana possession. Proponents said they weren't sure if it would decrease drug use in Idaho, but they were willing to give it a try. Those who spoke against the bill, including Democratic Representative John Gannon, called it overkill.
Sentencing for possession of marijuana is already strong, it is already vigorous, and it is already tough in this state.
The $300 minimum penalty would be stricter for simple marijuana possession compared to a DUI or sexual exploitation by a medical care provider. The bill sailed through the State House 54-14 and now goes to the Senate. House lawmakers this session are again taking aim at mask mandates nearly 5 years after the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. Our very busy James Dawson filed this report from the State House.
Idaho never had a statewide mask mandate during the pandemic, but public health districts occasionally limited gathering sizes, and some public school districts required staff and students to wear masks to lessen the spread. Republican Representative Rob Beiswinger's bill would prohibit these mandates by government agencies, though it does have exceptions for private businesses.
So if you're a dentist or a surgeon and you don't want your saliva going out in your patient, you would still could be required to wear a mask mandate in that sense.
Conservative legislators have unsuccessfully tried to ban mask mandates since 2021. Last year's effort cleared the House, but never got a Senate committee hearing. The bill could get a public hearing in the House State Affairs Committee later this week. James Dawson, Boise State Public Radio News.
A recent statewide survey finds that Idahoans have growing hope for the state's future. Jamie Geary has details.
This month, the 10th annual Idaho Public Policy Survey was published by Boise State University's School of Public Service and the Idaho Policy Institute. The survey asked 1,000 Idaho adults across the state what they thought Idaho's budget priorities should be during this year's legislative session. On Tuesday, Boise State's Matthew May and the Idaho Policy Institute's Lance McGinnis Brown joined Idaho Matters to discuss results. May says the top issues for Idaho voters this year are housing affordability, teacher salaries, and tax relief. May also says a new question was asked this year about access to health care.
We didn't quite know what to expect, but it was not that half of Idahoans were feeling difficulty accessing health care.
May says he thinks concerns over health care access may be connected to Idaho abortion laws. According to the survey, over half of Idahoans support abortion access through the first trimester of pregnancy. McGinnis Brown says he and May were both surprised by rising optimism. The survey notes 49% of Idahoans are hopeful for the state's future, the first increase since 2019.
You've seen a major spike in optimism, both about the direction that Idaho is on and the economic future of Idaho over the next 2 years.
May and McGinnis Brown say the survey results will help policymakers understand and address what Idahoans want during legislative sessions. Jamie Geary, Boise State Public Radio News.
Idaho State University and the College of Osteopathic Medicine are reportedly moving toward a new partnership agreement that would give instructors at each school faculty or affiliate faculty status at the other school. Idaho Ed News reports the two institutions already have a close relationship as neighbors in Meridian and in shared dual degree programs. The agreement co-recognizing faculty is set to be signed at January 31st. Ed News late last year reported that Idaho State was studying the potential acquisition of ICOM. Amid the flurry of executive orders in the first 24 hours of the second President Donald Trump administration this week was one targeting the massive wind energy project in central Idaho. Some have applauded Trump blocking Lava Ridge. The Mountain West News Bureau's Murphy Woodhouse has reaction.
The executive order directs the Secretary of the Interior to, quote, place a temporary moratorium on all activities and rights of Magic Valley Energy. That's the company that got the green light from Interior just last month to build Lava Ridge, which would feature 241 turbines up to 660 feet high in south central Idaho. The project has faced substantial opposition, including from those concerned about impacts to the Minidoka National Historic Site, where 13,000 Japanese Americans were unjustly held during World War II. Ben Crouch, a member of the Jerome County Commissioners, which has opposed the project, says he was excited to hear about the order.
Hopefully it'll take a big bite out of the process right now and hopefully stop it in its tracks.
The move also got unanimous praise from Idaho's all-Republican congressional delegation. The order also calls for a temporary pause on all leasing and permitting for wind projects on federal lands until an assessment of those practices is concluded. For the Mountain West News Bureau, I'm Murphy Woodhouse.
Magic Valley Energy LLC has not yet commented on the project being blocked. A fourth double-double for Boise State women's basketball standout Tatum Thompson yesterday was not enough as the Broncos fall on the road to Colorado State 79-70. Maya Hansen led the Broncos with 19 points yesterday. The loss dropped Boise State to 7th place in the conference at 3-4 and 13-7 overall. It's the fourth straight time the Broncos have lost to Colorado State. And thanks for listening to The Connector, Idaho Daily News from Boise State Public Radio. Our news director is Sasha Woodruff. Our general manager is Tom Michael. I'm Troy Oppie. You can always send your feedback, Boise State Public Radio at boisestate.edu, or send us a note through our free app for your smartphone. Have a great Wednesday. We'll catch you again tomorrow.